So Facebook wants to rebrand their company. They don't just want to be a social media platform. And they've talked before about they want to essentially move to build the metaverse. And if you've ever wanted to know if that term seems, weird or vague, to put it simply, if you've ever watched The Matrix or Ready Player One, those universes in which those, like whether it's Neo and his participation in it or the main character in Ready Player One, those virtual universes, that's the metaverse, where it's basically people who can escape meat space into this virtual existence where it's kind of self-sufficient, right? And so Facebook wants to build the metaverse. That's what they were wanting to do. And so Zuckerberg, this is part of changing their company name. They already had, they purchased Oculus. What did they pay for that? Like $2 billion or something when they bought Oculus. I was joking with Kane. I'm like, nobody really uses VR except for animated boobs right now. So, I mean, it's true. I'm not wrong. So
I like playing Fruit Ninja.
They said that because they've hired like 10,000 employees. And they've done a whole bunch of stuff where they're really trying to be a metaverse company. And they want to really rebuild that to where you have like every aspect of like this online life. And so it's very different from just being the post Facebook, social platform like it is. And they've been laying the groundwork for this for quite a long time. And I'll put some stuff in the prep email about this later on, but they've been doing this for quite a long time. And, I whenever we have discussions about singularity and whenever we're talking about the metaverse and AI, I was telling the guys on break, I'm like, I used to totally love the idea of a virtual world. But then when I realized that it was just basically a bunch of like weirdo dudes, nerds, and not like cool nerds, like, 12-year-old screechers and all that, then I just like, I don't know if I want to do that now. But I get really weird about all these companies building this sphere because it very much feels like it could be a disaster in the making, right? Especially when you consider who all the people are that are creating it. And then there's a lot of legal considerations to think of. And this is actually my oldest who's in college. He's going into law because he's very fascinated by this whole scenario. Like for instance, if you have a virtual world that's created, how do you deal with copyright that's created within that virtual environment? Like how do you deal with that IP and all of this other stuff? And there's just certain things that about meat space and about law in meat space, our real reality, that are not really applicable in kind of like a virtual or a metaverse existence. And so, and remember, too, I was just telling you about Tencent Sport. Tencent, I really do, because gaming's a very influential sphere. And, there are a lot of people, it's not really a hive. It's not, you don't get like the collective type personalities, like a Borg mentality that get into gaming. I mean, these are, pretty independent thinkers. And China they've been trying to have influence in that aspect of it as well. That's when you had Tencent with Blizzard, etc. Fortnite, I think, and Epic Games, so far I think they're sort of the leaders in the gaming aspect of the metaverse. And Fortnite is actually banned in China. And that makes me like Fortnite a lot. I don't play Fortnite, but it makes me really dig it. And I don't think I'm gonna not, my youngest makes fun of it, and I'm not gonna allow him to make fun of it in the house anymore. I'm gonna be like, they're banned in China. Are you banned in China? No, you're not. So you don't get to make, because that's a virtue in our home. If someone or something is banned in China, we are fans. That's just because I hate commies. Hate. So this is kind of something to watch. And lockdown, I think, expedited this entire process because people craved connections, right? So get this, like for instance, VR, virtual reality, it's now projected to go from 12 billion in 2020, 12 to $72 billion in 2024. That's pretty huge. So it's something to keep an eye on. Wall Street Journal had a great piece, and it said, the headline of this, I think, is very, very succinct. Big tech wants you to live in a virtual world. Prepare for real problems. I'll include that in prep, but this is something to keep an eye on.